Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you step by step how to build a WordPress website just like any of the ones you see right here for only a couple of bucks a month. So in this video guide I'm going to be covering everything you need to know about making a WordPress site, from creating your first post to installing a theme, creating a menu. All that stuff like that will all be included in this guide. And if you guys don't have WordPress already or website hosting, I left a link to a video in the description below this video that'll take you through a quick 5-minute tutorial of how to buy website hosting and then how to install WordPress on that hosting. And then after you finish that, you can come back and watch this video. That's only for the people who don't have WordPress already. If you already have WordPress installed, we can start right away. And when you go and watch that video, you're also going to notice a hosting discount too that I included in there for you, so you can get hosting for, I think it's just a couple of bucks a month now. So now we're going to jump right in and start creating our WordPress website. Okay, so now the first thing that we're going to do is install our WordPress theme, or some people might refer to it as WordPress template or website template, website theme. It's all pretty much the same thing. And if we go up here to the top where it says our site name and we click on visit site, we'll see that right now it's just a blank website, and this is the default WordPress theme that they install. So if I go back up here to dashboard, and now one thing too before we get started, I just wanted to mention that every once in a while I'll get a comment, or somebody sends me an email and they say that their WordPress dashboard looks different. And sometimes every once in a while, like, they'll switch it up depending on when you have installed WordPress. And you don't need to focus on any of this stuff over here in the white and gray. Everything that we're going to be focusing on is over here on this left sidebar right here. So if you get to your dashboard and some of this looks a little bit different over here on the right side, don't let it throw you. Just focus over here on the left sidebar. So what we need to do is come over here where it says appearance, and we're going to click on that, and this is how you install your theme. And so if we just scroll up right here, you're going to see that our active theme right now is the 2022 version, and every year WordPress basically adds a new default theme. But what we need to do is come up here where it says add new and click on the add new button. And this right here is where all the themes are going to be located. And as you can see right here, right now we're under the popular tab, and there's over 5,000 themes. And I'd pretty much just suggest you guys going through these and just kind of scrolling through all these different themes and see which kind of theme you think would fit your site best. And all of these themes right here too are also free. And you can go to other tabs up here like latest, and you're going to get there's an additional 10,000 themes. Like I said, you can go through, check them out. And there's also a favorites tab up here. So if you find some themes that you like, you can actually favorite them, and then once you do that, they're all going to show up right here. And then there's also a feature filter. So say you have some specific criteria that you want your theme to fit in. Like maybe you want a right sidebar, or maybe you want a left sidebar, or no sidebar. You would pick on one column. And then if you click on apply filters, it's going to show you all of those one column themes right there. And if you want to get rid of that, all you need to do is unselect this or just hit clear, and then it gets rid of it. And they also have a subject section right here. So maybe if you're making a specific type of website like a blog or e-commerce website, you can select these and then click apply filters. That's going to show you all those different ones that are going to fit under that specific criteria. So I'm just going to go back over here to popular, and what we need to do is we're going to go over here to the search themes section. And the theme that we're going to be using for this example site is called Fairy. So what we're going to do is just go over here and type that in. And you're going to see that pop up. There's a few different ones right here, but this is the one that we need to install. And the installation for these themes is pretty much always going to be the same thing. You're just going to click on install. It's really simple. And then after that, once it's done being installed, you're just going to click on activate. And now as you can see, that new theme right here is installed. It's super simple to do, and if we go up here to our website, we can check the theme. And as you can see, the theme has been changed right there. And now one thing too I wanted to mention is that if you guys ever switch the theme, you don't have to worry about any of your content being deleted or anything like that. All your content stays the same. The only thing that's going to change is the layout of that content depending on what theme that you have installed. So now after we have our theme installed, I'm just going to go back over here to the dashboard. And now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to name our website. And to do that, we're going to go over here to the left sidebar and scroll down to where it says settings. And we're just going to click on that. So now we're under the general settings, and this is where we're going to add our site title and our tagline. Now both of these are completely optional. You guys don't have to have them. You could just use a logo if you wanted to, but for this site I'm going to be using both the site title and the tagline. So I'm just going to type in my site title here. And then right here under tagline, just like it says, in a few words explain what this site is about. So I'm going to paste in my tagline right there. And since this is going to be a food blog, my site title is Life and Limes, and the tagline is a family food blog with easy, well-tested, family-approved recipes. And then after you're done with that, all you need to do is scroll down here to where it says Save Changes, and then click on Save Changes. And so just like that, we now have our site title and our tagline added, and that's been saved. If you look up here to where it says our site, it's now been changed to our site title that we just put up. And just real quick too, if we go up here to Visit Site, you'll see our title and tagline has been added right there. And now the next thing we're going to do real quick is go back over here to the left sidebar and go back to the settings section, but we're actually going to click on permalinks. We're going to switch this from plain to, if we scroll down a little bit, to post name, and that's just going to help clean up our URLs a little bit. And now after we do that, we're going to go down here and click on Save Changes. And now what we're going to do is move over to the post section. This is where we're going to actually start putting up some content. And now I understand that you guys might not have any content ready to go, and that's totally okay. All you need to do is just kind of follow along and watch what I do. I'm going to show you how to create posts and how to add featured image, how to upload images, and then just basically take you through the whole process of making a post. And that way when you're ready to actually start adding your own content, you'll already know what to do. And you can also just go back and reference this part in the video too. So we're going to head over here to the left sidebar where it says Posts, and we're just going to click on that. And right here is where all your posts are going to be. So once you start adding some content, everything's going to show up right here. But what we need to do is just come up here to where it says Add New and click on this Add New button. And now this is basically what a blank post is going to look like. And if you guys see this down here, this is just something that's going to pop up because of the website theme that we installed. And you can just click this and get rid of it right there, because we're just going to leave it on the default sidebar, which is actually going to be the right sidebar. And now most of this is pretty self-explanatory. So right here is where you're going to add the title for your post. And then right here is where you're going to add all the content. And now this right here, this little plus button, this is basically how you're going to add in the content. This is called a block. And if you click on this, a bunch of different things are going to pop up, like a paragraph. So for example, if you click this, it's just basically going to keep this the same, and you can start writing content right there. Then they have other things here like image, heading, quote, list, gallery. And now if we click on image, like I said, this stuff's pretty self-explanatory. When you click on image, it's going to pop up a block right here to either upload an image or get it from your media library or insert that image from a URL. Now anytime you upload anything to your site, it's going to automatically be in your media library after that. So say you had a post where you uploaded an image but you wanted to use the same image again for a different post. You wouldn't have to upload that image again. All you would have to do is just click on your media library and it will be right there. There's nothing right now because we haven't uploaded anything yet though. And so all you would have to do to upload an image is make sure you already have the image that you want uploaded saved to your computer, and then you're just going to click on upload right here. And a little box is going to pop up, and that's where you're going to find your image wherever you have it saved. Maybe you have it saved to the desktop, your downloads, or maybe to your pictures. But after you find the image that you want, you simply select it like this. Click on open. It's just going to start uploading the image right here. And then just like that, you have your image uploaded. And now if we go over here and we click on this plus box again, and we click on image and we go to our media library, you'll see that that image right there is saved in our media library forever until we delete it. Say you want to delete it, all you have to do is select right here, click the image, then click on delete permanently, and that will get rid of the image right there. And now say if you wanted to change the size of your image, all you need to do is click on it right here, and it'll allow you to do a few different things. If you want it rounded, you could do that. If you want to keep it default, it'll keep it square. If you scroll down, this is where you can change the size of it. We could switch this to medium if we want, or thumbnail if we want it really small, or full size. I'd usually recommend keeping it on either large or medium, or you could even go to large and then put it down maybe to 75% or 50% and kind of meet somewhere in the middle right there. And then say you wanted to have this be centered, all you need to do is come over here to the alignment section and you can click on align center and it'll put that image right in the middle. Maybe if you want it more to the right, you can do that. And then also if you wanted this image to be clickable, so anytime somebody would click on it, it could take them to a specific link to another website or another page on your website, all you need to do is come up here where it says insert link, and then you would paste in the URL right there that you want the person to go to once they click on the image. And after you do that, you would just click apply. And then say you wanted to crop your image, maybe you wanted to zoom in, you can click on crop, and just by scrolling your mouse wheel you can zoom in or out. If you zoom in, you can bring it over here. Say you maybe just want a specific part of the picture to show up, you can do that. Or maybe if you want to add a little bit of context to what the picture is, you can go up here and you can add some text over the image. So by clicking right here, and since this is an image of some tomato soup, maybe I would type in tomato basil soup. Then you can also click that right here and you can change the color of it to make it show up a little better by clicking on text. If you want to switch that to white, click that right there, makes it show up a little bit more. And those are just some of the things that you can do with your image when you have it uploaded. And now what I'm going to do is go back over to the block section right here and scroll down because there's a browse all button right here. I'm going to click on, and I'm just going to go over some of this stuff right here. Like I said, most of it's all pretty self-explanatory, but I'm still going to go through and just talk about some of the more useful blocks. And then after that, I'm going to put a post together and you guys can just see everything that I do and what's basically involved in making a post. And then also too, if you want a more in-depth explanation to what each one of these individual blocks right here are, all you have to do is put your mouse over this, over each one of these, and a little section will come up here on the right, basically describing what it is. And I definitely suggest doing that if you are new to all this. It just helps you get a better grasp on the whole thing. And if we scroll down right here, we got the media section. So again, we just showed you how to add your own images. And then if you want to add audio, you can do that too. Also a gallery. Say you wanted multiple images, which I'll be showing you how to do in the post in a little bit here. You can also add video right here. And if we keep scrolling down, you can add a button, if you can notice those right there. So maybe you wanted to, just like these say, find out more or contact us. Then you can make it so anytime someone clicks on one of these buttons, it takes them to maybe a page on your website or somewhere a different website. Then also a separator here, a spacer, so if you want to just put some blank white space between, say, maybe an image and then your text, you can add that in, which I'll also be getting into. You can also put a search box, which I'm going to be showing you how to do that. We're going to be putting that in the right sidebar actually. And then some social icons, I'm also going to be covering that. And then if we keep going down here, you'll notice some of the embed section. So if you wanted to put your own YouTube video in, you can do that. I'll be covering that. Or Twitter, again, Spotify song. Also have TikTok videos right here. You can add that in. So you can embed a specific TikTok video in. Also Facebook and Instagram. And then they have a section right here so you can accept payments on your site if you want to, if you have a product that you want to sell. Also a payment buttons right there. You can add a calendar or a newsletter sign up. Also a contact form right there. Or say you have a restaurant site and you want to put your business hours right there. This makes it really easy. And just like I said too, just kind of go through everything and check it out. Click on stuff. Don't be afraid to click on any of it, because once you click on it, you can just delete it after you're done, just if you want to check it out and see what it is. And that's just kind of the whole process of learning WordPress. You can't be afraid to go and test some stuff out, because you can always get rid of it, like I said, after you've added it already. But that's just kind of the best way to learn how all this stuff works if you need it. And so now I'm just going to go up here and close this block inserter section, and I'm going to start building this first post. So the first thing I'm going to do here is add the title. And now after that, I'm going to add some content right here. Just some basic text, just like that. And now another thing too, as you're just working along on your post, you're going to want to make sure, even though every once in a while it's going to auto save it for you, but just in case, every once in a while just go up here and click on Save Draft, and that way everything you just worked on is already saved. Okay, now I'm just going to continue adding a little more text down here, and maybe I'll add a spacer in right there to separate it. And now with this, just like I said earlier in the video, this is just to add a little space between some of your words, or maybe your image and some words. I usually go with about 10 pixels. You can go more if you want. And now I'm going to add a little list down here. And to do that, all you would do is make sure you are on the line where your text is. And if you click on this paragraph block right here, you see a few different things on this list, but we're going to actually click on list. That's just going to give it a bullet point there. And so now the next stuff we add under it is also going to be on that list. And then if you want to get out of that list setting, all you do is just hit enter a couple of times, and that will get you out of that and onto a new line here. And then in a few minutes here, I'm going to show you how we're going to take like this line, for example, right here, this ingredients line, and I'm going to show you how to make it do a page jump. So basically you're going to be able to click ingredients right there, for example, and then it's going to take you down the page to the ingredients section that we're going to make in a minute here. And now I'm going to put another spacer in right here. Same thing, height of 10 pixels. And now I'm going to add an image. I'm going to upload it actually. And I'm going to select this image right here. And then I'm going to click on it and just do a little resize on it. And bring it down to probably about 50%. And then I'm going to center that. And then say I wanted to make this image right here link to the actual website. Just come up here, click on the link setting, and paste my link in, and click apply. And now anytime somebody clicks this image right here, it's going to send them to whatever URL that you paste in right there. In this case, hellofresh.com. And we'll come down here You can also add a caption in right there if you want to. I'm going to skip that though. I'm going to add a new block. I'm going to add another spacer in, and another 10 pixel spacer. And the reason I keep doing these spacers like this is to just keep each piece of content spaced out properly, so when you're looking down, you're scrolling down the page, everything looks the same. Then I'm going to add some more text right here. And then I'm going to actually make this a little bigger, so I'm going to come over here to this paragraph setting. I'm going to click on heading, and I'm going to keep that. I'm going to turn that into a H2 tag to make it a little bigger. And if you click on this, you can choose different ones if you want, but I'm going to keep it like that. Then I'm going to add some more text under this, then another spacer. Now I'm going to make the ingredients section right here. I'm also going to go over here and switch that heading and put it again to an H2. And the reason I like to do this too is so when you're scrolling down your post, you can basically highlight the main points of your post. So people are trying to just do a quick read, they can go through and they can find what they're looking for exactly. And then I'm going to turn this into another list right here. I'm just going to go back here, click on list. It's going to make that into a list. And I'm going to add the rest of the ingredients right here. And now that list is finished, so I'm just going to come down here. I'm going to add another spacer. And then I'm actually going to put in a related YouTube video. So if we search here for YouTube, click on that. And then again, to do this, all you need to do is go to whatever YouTube video you want and copy the URL up here and then paste it in and then click on embed. And then that video right there will be embedded. Now you can choose the YouTube block to add a video, or you can also go up here and you might notice there's something called embed. You can type that in and you can do the same thing, put the URL in right there, click embed, and that'll embed the video in right there, so you can use either one, both of them work. And so now if we scroll back up here, we can see that we have pretty decent looking post. Then I'm just going to come up here, click on save draft. And then also too, anytime you're working on your post and you just want to see how it's going to look, all you need to do is come up here to preview, and you can view it in the tablet, the mobile, or desktop. We're just going to keep it in desktop right now. And you just click on preview and new tab, and that'll bring up the new tab right here and show you what the post looks like. And we still need to add our featured image, which will be right above here, but if we just scroll down, we can take a look and see what it looks like. Pretty good. There's our YouTube video right there. And then you can just close that tab. And now if we scroll back down here, I'm going to show you how to do this jump page that I was talking about. So all we need to do here is select the line of text that we want to be a jump link and highlight it just like that. Then we're going to click on the link button. And then what we need to do is kind of make a little piece of code here. So we're going to type in this number symbol. And then since this post is about tomato soup, we're just going to add tomato. And then we're going to do a dash or a hyphen. Then we're going to add in soup. And then the other keyword here, which is ingredients. And then the reason I'm putting these little dashes or hyphens in right here is they just represent spaces basically. And then what you're going to do right here is copy this text, not the number sign, and I'm going to copy that. And then once that's copied, I'm just going to click on this submit button right here. And then you'll notice that this line right here is now blue, indicating that it's a link. And now all we need to do is scroll down here and find the ingredients section. And all we're going to do here is click on ingredients, and that's going to pop up this right sidebar here. And we're going to scroll all the way down to where it says advanced, and where you see it says HTML anchor. Then we're just going to take that line of text that we copied earlier and paste it in right there. And come up here to save draft. And now if we come up here to preview and preview this in a new tab, and we scroll down here to where it says ingredients. If we click on this, you'll notice it takes us right down to the ingredients section, just like that. And this is just a nice feature for, say, somebody's looking for the ingredients section or a specific section that you want them to be able to find quickly. All they'd have to do is click on that, and then it takes them straight to the ingredients section. It's just a nice little feature that you can put on your post. And so now we're going to go back up here, and we're just going to click on this post section. And I'm just going to explain some of this stuff right here, like the categories, the tags. We're going to add our featured image. So first, let's just add our featured image. And this is going to be an image that pops up right about here. And we're going to go to featured image, and actually it's already in my media library right there. So I'm going to select that. And now I'm going to click on Save Draft. And now you're not going to see the featured image in your post right here while you're editing it. But again, if we go to preview a new tab, you're going to notice that the featured image is the first image to pop up right there. And that's actually just going to be the image that people are going to see before they actually click on the post. So I'm going to close this. And now the next thing we're going to do is come over here to the tag section. And now tags are kind of optional. You can add them if you want. If you don't want to, it's okay. So since this is called tomato basil soup, I'm just going to add that as a tag. I just kind of recommend whatever your title is, just using that as a tag. And then after that, you can click on the enter key, or if you have more than one that you want to add, you can just hit a comma, and then it'll allow you to add another one. I'd say maybe add about up to 3. We're just going to keep 1 right here. And now the next thing we're going to do is come up here to our category section, and right now you'll see that it's in the uncategorized section because we haven't added any categories yet. And so again, since this is a food blog, I'm just going to go and add some categories that I think would be good for this. And then also right here, you'll notice something called a parent category, and that basically just means a subcategory. So if you wanted to have a main category, but then you wanted another category under that category, you could make a parent category, and then it would just pop up right under that main category. So like I said, I'm just going to go and add a few here, and then we're also going to go revisit the categories section in a little bit here in the video too, where I'm going to go more in depth about it. Okay, so I went and added a few categories right here. And again, since this is tomato basil soup, I think I'm going to unselect this category and unselect this, and I'm just going to keep it in the lunch and recipes category. And now I'm going to click on Save Draft. And now if I go back up here to the preview section and preview in new tab, and now you're going to see that it switched it from the uncategorized section to now it's under the recipe section and also under the lunch section right there. So now anytime somebody goes to the lunch section or the recipe section, this post right here is going to be under both of those. So that's pretty much going to do it for the post section right there. It's a pretty good breakdown of how you can make each post. And so now what we're going to do is come up here and we're going to click on publish to publish the post. And now once you hit that publish button, you're going to see a few options here. If you want to publish it immediately, you can do that. You can just leave it on this setting like that. Or say you wanted to set it for a specific date in the future, all you would do is select that date right here, and then it will schedule that date for you. And then once you hit publish up there, it won't publish it immediately. It will only publish it on the date that you select. But for this, we're just going to keep it on immediately right here, and we're going to click on publish. And just like that, our post is now live. So if I click on post, view post, that's our post right here. That's our URL with the title right there in the URL. And if we scroll down, it's going to be what our finished post looks like. Looks pretty good. And now we can start moving on to the other sections. And one other thing too I wanted to mention before we move on to the other sections is you might notice under the updates there's a number by it. If you go down here and look at the plugins, there's also a number right there. And this just means that if we click on it, there's updates available. And sometimes it might be an update for the latest version of WordPress. We already have the latest version right here, but in this case it's a plugin that has an update, and then also our theme that we're using that has an update. So all you have to do is select this right here, or if you have multiple plugins that need to be updated, you can just click on the select all button. And so we're just going to click on update plugins. And just like that, it says all updates have been completed. So we can go back to the update section, and we now have all our plugins are up to date. And now we're just going to update our theme. Click on update themes. And just like that, all our updates have been completed. And it's just a good idea, that way you can keep all your plugins and your themes or WordPress up to date. So now we're going to head back to the dashboard. And so now what we're going to do is move on to the categories section, and then after that we're going to use some of those categories to create our menu. So what we need to do is come over here to where it says post and hover over that, and then go down here and click on categories. And so this right here is the category section, and as you can see, we already have a few categories that we created earlier on our post. And this is just basically the other location that you can go to create more categories if you wanted to do that, if you didn't want to create them right there in the post like we did earlier. And so all you would do to create a new category right here is you would put the name right there of whatever your category is, and then you would choose if you want it to be a parent category or not. And then after that you would just go and click on add new category. And then once you do that, it will show up here along with your other categories right there. And now if we go over here to appearance, we're going to create our menu. And so we're just going to hover over the appearance section over here on the left sidebar, and then we're going to go over to menus. And so the first thing we need to do once we get here is create a menu name, and you can call this anything you want. I'm just going to put it as menu 1. You guys can do the same. And then after that, I want you to come down here to where it says display location, and then make sure you have primary menu selected. And that way this menu will show up on your home page. And then after you do that, just come over here and click on the create menu button. Alright, so now we've created our menu right here, and now we can begin to edit it. So if we come over here to where it says categories, you're going to see some of the categories that we created earlier, and if you click on view all, it's going to show all of them. And so from this point you can choose if you want any of your categories to show up on your menu. I'm actually going to include all 4 of my categories right here that I already created. And again, depending on what kind of website you guys are creating, you can choose which categories that you want to add. And then after you find those, just click on the add to menu button. And then those are going to show up right there. And what we're going to do next is come over here to where it says custom links, and we're going to create a home button. And basically the purpose of this is so anytime anyone is on any page or post on your website and say they want to just get back to the home page, they can just click on the home button, and then it will immediately bring them back to the home page. And so all you need to do is go to your home page, and you copy this link up here. That's your home page link, and then you paste it right here. Then we're going to type in home. And then after that, click on add to menu. And as you can see right there, the home button has been added. And then after that, we're going to click on save menu. And then if we refresh this page up here, you'll see that the home button has been added. And also too, I want to mention that if you hover over these, you see that little 4-point arrow right there, it allows you to move these around. And so I'm actually going to bring this one up here. And then you'll notice too that if you bring one of these categories to the right under another category above, and you drop it right there, it'll actually become a sub-item. Basically meaning that this category right here, anytime it's under one of these main categories, it would pop up underneath this one. And then anytime you want to bring that back, and you don't want it to be a subcategory or a sub-item, and you just want it to be a main category, you can just bring it back over here and drop it right there, and then it's just the main category again. And now we're going to add 2 more categories, and I think these are also good categories to add, which is an About Us page and then also a Subscribe page. And the About Us page is just going to be obviously about your website, and it's just going to be able to give the reader a little background on you and your website. And then the Subscribe page is just going to be where maybe if you want to post your social media links or anything like that, it'll have its own dedicated page. But these are both completely optional too. You don't have to add these. The only one I would say to make sure you add is this home button one right here. And then so to add those categories right there, we're going to actually have to go and create 2 pages. So if we go over here to our left sidebar, we're going to go and click on Add New. And now I'm just going to type in right here, About Us. And creating a page is pretty much the same process as creating a post. And then under here, instead of going and actually creating an entire About Us page, I'm going to put a link here. And this is basically just going to show you how to write a great About Us page. So I'm going to post that right there. I'm going to click on Publish, and then Publish again. And then we can view that page right here. And if we click on this, it's going to send us to a page here where it's going to show you how to write an About Us page with 21 examples. And this entire article right here will cover everything you need to know about writing an About Us page, and then also give you a bunch of About Us pages that you can use for inspiration to create yours. So if we close that right there, and we come here and we refresh this, you're going to notice our Pages section right there. We now have an About Us page. And so we're going to click that and click on Add to Menu. And now we have that About Us page right there. Then we're going to click on Save Menu. Then we're going to go back to Pages and create one more page here. And that's going to be our Subscribe page. And then I just went and listed a few of the popular social platforms right here. So you guys could do the same thing right here, and then all you need to do is copy each one of these right here and then post in your social media link for, say, Facebook, for example. And then I'm just going to post in my social media link right there and click on Submit and add that. And then you're just going to go and do the same thing for each of the others that you have listed right there. And then after that, we're just going to come up here to Publish and then click on Publish again. And now that page is live. And so if we come here and then refresh this page, and right here is the Subscribe page, and then we click on Add to Menu. And now we have our Subscribe page and our About Us page. And then after that, we're just going to click on the Save Menu button. And now if we come back over here to our website, we now have our entire menu right there. And then also too, you might notice this up here, this extra section right there. If you want to get rid of that, all you need to do is come up here to Customize, and you can go to Fairy Theme Options, and then you'll notice right here is a Top Header Options, and all you need to do right there is click, and then to get rid of those right there, all you would need to do is where it says Menu and Header right here is unselect that right there, and you notice that that goes away. And then also too, if you want your search bar to be in the header, or if you don't want a search bar at all, or you don't want it in the header, you can unselect that right there, which I'm going to do because we're actually going to be putting our search bar on the side menu over here. And then so after that, I'm just going to come up here to Publish. Now once that's published, I'm going to click Close here. And then again, if we refresh it, you'll see that that top part's gone right there. And now we just have our menu here with all our different categories. Now I'm just going to go back to the dashboard. So now the next thing we're going to do is fill out our sidebar. And to do that, we're just going to come over here to the left and go to where it says Appearance. And then after that, we're going to click on Widgets. And so right here is the widgets area, and you're going to see the sidebar section right here. And now to add stuff to it, all you need to do is click on this Add Block logo. And it's going to be similar to creating a post or a page like we did earlier. We're going to be using the same block editor right here. So we're going to go through now and we're going to add some clickable images, we're going to add a search bar, we're going to add some of the recent posts, and then a few other things. So to get started, we're going to come up here to image. I'm going to click on that. Now I'm going to upload an image here. And so now right here, I'm going to select this image here that I'm going to be using for a banner. And as you can see, the dimensions on it are 300 by 250. And now the other images too that we'll also be using will also be 300 by 250. And you can pretty much use whatever size images you want, but I found that 300 width by 250 seems to work the best. Or I would at least just shoot for something that has a width of 300. So right here, if I click on this, click on open, it's going to upload that. And so you can use a sidebar for anything you want. And in this case, maybe you have some affiliate links, or say you are promoting some Amazon products or anything like that. You could go ahead and post a banner just like this one, and then you can add a link to it. So anytime someone goes and clicks on that link, it will send them to whichever page you'd like them to go to. And so what I'm going to do right here is click on this image, and I'm going to go up here and insert a link. And so for example, since this is a food website, I'm just going to link to ubereats.com, just like it is in the banner right here. And then after that, I'm just going to come up here to update. Now jump back over to our site just so you guys can see what it looks like. And right there, we have our first item on the sidebar, and if I click on it, it will bring us right to ubereats.com. So I'm just going to close this. And so the next thing we're going to add is the search bar. So if we click on add block again, and we come up here and actually type in search, you're going to see this little search icon pop up right here, and you can click that. And now with this, you don't really have to switch anything else unless you want to change the position of the button. You can do that by going here, clicking this. You can choose if you want the button on the outside, on the inside, or no button. We're just going to leave it how it is, the default setting. And now after that, we're going to come back down here to the add block section again, and then we're going to type in latest post. There it is right here, and we're going to click on that. And now what this is going to do is just simply create a list of all your recent posts. And we only have one post right now, but in a little bit I'm going to add some more, and then that's just going to automatically add those to it. And then if we come over here to the sidebar under the latest post, you can choose right here what type of settings you want to have for this. You can choose to turn the stuff on like this, or you can keep it all on the default section. And so we're actually going to keep all these on the default. The only thing we're going to switch down here is I'm going to bring this up to 7 posts. And you guys can choose whatever number you want. If you want to do less, if you want to do more, either one, that's okay. And now after that, we're just going to come back over here to the add block section again. And I'm going to add another image. Click on upload. Then I'm going to select this DoorDash image. Click on open. Now that's uploaded. Then I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm just going to add a link. Just going to paste that in right here to DoorDash.com and then click on apply. And then after that, we're going to come back down here to the add block. And then we're going to type in categories. And then right here is the category section. We're going to click on that. And then what that's going to do is just list our categories right there. And I'm going to come back here and I'm going to add one more image. Just going to select this image right here. And then again, I'm going to add a link. I'm going to paste that in right here and then click on apply. And then after that, I'm just going to come up here and click on update. And then now if we go back up here to the top left and we click on visit our site, we're going to see if we scroll down, we're going to notice that our sidebar is now more filled out, making that look a little more complete. And again too, like I said, you guys can put up any type of banners you want. For example, like I mentioned earlier, if you guys are using Amazon Associates and you're part of their affiliate marketing program, you could go ahead and put those banners up right there. Or you could also sign up too with something like Google AdSense and you can monetize your content. And you could put those banners there on your sidebar just like these. It just really depends on what you want to do and what type of website you have too. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and add some additional posts here. That way I can show you what the site looks like when it's filled out a little bit more. And then what we're going to do is move on to this customize section right here, and we're just going to go through and we're going to change some of the colors of the website. So I'll go do that and then I'll be back. Okay, so now I just finished up these last posts and I now have 10 published posts right here. So if we go back up to our site and click on visit site, and if I scroll down, you're going to see that I now have 10 posts. This is going to give you a better idea of what the site is going to look like once you have more content up. So that definitely helps fill things out a little bit. And now what we're going to do is come up here to this customize section, and we're going to click on that. And now the first thing I wanted to do is change the color scheme. So if we go over here to colors, and you guys can put your color scheme as whatever you want depending on your website, like I always say. But what I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to come up here to where it says header text color. And I'm just going to change this to black. So it just changes this title up here. And then after that, I'm going to come down here where it says site primary color. And this is going to change all this red color stuff right here. Anything you see red, it's going to change the color of that. So if you go to select color, you can go through and just by moving this, you can switch the colors up. Or if you have your own hex code, actually like I do, you can paste it in right there. So I'm going to paste in my color code. And that's the color green that I'm going to go with. And then after that, I'm just going to come up here and click on publish. And now I'm going to go back here. And just to go back over a few things, back here to site identity, you can also change your site title and tagline. And you can get rid of it here if you don't want it. Turn it on or off just by clicking that. If we go back up here, we go to fairy theme options. There's also a bunch of different options that you can go through right here and check out if you're interested. I'm actually going to leave all these on default. And then again too, for the header image, if you want to have an image here instead of your title like this, all you'd have to do is click on add new image and upload the image you want. And if you read right here, it says your theme works best with an image with a header size of 1900 by 250 pixels. So that's an option if you want to do that. Also there's the background image. If you wanted to, instead of having this color right here, if you wanted to just do an image, you can also do that by selecting an image and putting it there. And then if we go down here to content options, there's also a bunch of different things you can select or unselect here under post details. So you can choose to display the date right here. I'm actually going to turn this one off because I think it just helps clean it up a little bit. But that's definitely optional too, because I know a lot of people would like to show the dates in the post. Also the display categories right here, if you want to get rid of those and just clean it up a little bit. I'm actually going to keep them though. And then also here under display author, right now it says Life and Lime, so if you unselect this, it gets rid of that. So I just kind of suggest going through these right here and then clicking them on and then off to see whatever changes, and then you can decide whether or not you want to keep it or not. I'm going to go back here. Then I'm going to go down here to homepage settings. That's another one where you can choose what's going to be displayed on your homepage. I'm just going to keep it as my latest post. Or you can also just choose static page if you only want one certain page to come up. Then I'm going to go back here. And that's pretty much going to do it for the customized section right here. But then after you have everything set, all you need to do is come up here to publish, and that's going to save all these changes. I'm going to close this out. Now you can see that we have our colors changed, and I got rid of the dates right there. Helps give the site a nice look. And now that we're finished editing those few things that we just did right there, we're going to move on to the very last step of this tutorial video, which is going to be to add our social media buttons to our website and then also to our individual posts too. So to do that, we're going to come back up here to the dashboard section. And then we're going to come over here to where it says plugins. And so this is what the plugin section looks like right here. And if I scroll down, these are all the current plugins that are installed. But these right here are actually the default plugins that WordPress automatically installs every time you create a new site. So what we need to do is scroll back up here and we need to click on this Add New button right here. And now this page right here is where you can actually find all the plugins that WordPress has to offer. And the layout of it is very similar to the theme section. So as you can see right here, there's some different tabs. Under the featured tab, there's a popular tab, recommended, and then your favorites. And kind of like I said too before with the WordPress themes, if you guys just want to go through and scroll through these and check them out, and you can kind of just read through them and check out each one of them to see if it's something that maybe you might be interested in for your site. You could also go to Google and look up the most popular WordPress plugins or maybe the most useful WordPress plugins for your site. That's usually pretty helpful. And if we go back up here, what we're going to do is search for a few plugins. And so if we go over here to the search plugins box, we're going to be looking for the plugin called Add to Any. So after you do that, you should have this plugin right here pop up, Add to Any Share buttons. And so just like a theme, installing a theme, it's very similar to that. All you do is click on Install Now. And then after that, click on Activate. And just like that, our Add to Any Share Buttons plugin has been installed. So now what we need to do after that is just click on this Settings button right here. And then from here, we're actually going to leave most of this stuff all on its original settings, but we're just going to change a few things. So if we scroll down here, you can click on Dismiss to get rid of that. If we click right here where it says Add or Remove Services, it's going to give you options of what buttons that you want to pop up underneath your post. So we're going to go through and pick what we want to have show up underneath our post. So I'm actually going to keep Facebook and Twitter, and I'm going to get rid of this email one right here. Then I'm going to put in Pinterest, and then the other one I'm going to put in is LinkedIn. You guys can go through and choose any of these services you want to have. And I would suggest using about maybe 3, 4, maybe 5 different services. And then after you have that done, all you need to do is scroll down here and keep going to the bottom. Like I said, we're going to keep all this stuff right here the same, and then we're going to click on Save Changes. And now our changes have been saved. So if we go up here to our site, click on Visit Site, you'll notice that now underneath our post we have our social media share buttons right there. So if somebody wants to come to your site and share this specific post, all they would need to do is click on one of these buttons, and then they can do that. And these will show up for every post right here. And so if we go and click on, say, this post here, and then scroll down, and keep going down, there's those buttons right there. And now what we're going to do is install one more plugin. And so we're going to go back over here to Plugin section. And if you guys see any messages like this Jetpack or anything popping up here that you don't want to look at anymore, you can just click on Close. And then we're going to go back over here to Add New. And then again, we're going to come over here to the search box. And we're going to type in Sassy Social Share. And then right here is the plugin we want to use, Sassy Social Share. And now same thing again, click on Install Now. And then after that's installed, click on Activate. And then after that, you can either just scroll down right here and click on Settings, or you'll notice something pops up right here. You can click on Configure the plugin. Either one works. So I'm going to go and click on Settings. And then if we scroll down here, this is where we can edit some of the settings. In this plugin, just like the last plugin, we're going to keep most of it on the default settings. But I'm just going to go and switch this to Square, since our last plugins are also squares, just to kind of match the other social buttons that we just installed earlier. And then after that, we're going to scroll down here, and then keep going down, and we're going to click on Save Changes. And then we're going to come over here to where it says Standard Interface. Now what we're going to do is actually unselect this Enable Standard Sharing Interface. So unselect that. And then after that, scroll down here and click on Save Changes. And if we go back up here, we're going to go to the Floating Interface section and then scroll down. And now, just like the last plugin, we're going to select what social plugins that we want to be floating on our sidebar on the left side of our website. And so I'm just going to choose mine right here. And now I'm actually going to select Facebook. Let me get rid of these two. Then I'm going to keep Pinterest. I'm going to keep Twitter. I'm going to get rid of the WhatsApp right there. And then I'm going to add Instagram. And then I'm going to unselect these right here. And so we just have these four right here: Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and Twitter. And like I said before too, you guys can select any of these that you want. And now I'm going to go down here, and you can choose on where you want the alignment to be. So I'm just going to keep it here on the left side, so it's going to just show up on the left side here of our website. And then we're going to leave all this stuff right here on default. And then we're just going to scroll down and click on Save Changes. And that's all you're going to need to do. And so after that, we're going to come back up here to Visit Site. And as you can see right here, we now have our social icons floating on the left side right there. And so if we go and click on a post right here, you'll see that bar stays right there. And if we scroll down, it also scrolls with the page. And these icons right here will also show up too on mobile. So if you're on your phone or your tablet or anything like that, you're still going to see these show up. And then also too, if maybe you just want to have these right here and not these, or maybe these and not these icons right here, you can just choose to use one of those plugins instead of both. But personally, I like doing both right here, so we can have the floating sidebar and then also the icons right here under each post. And then also one more quick thing too, if we scroll back up here, you'll notice some of these little boxes that will pop up. Like if we go back to our dashboard, it'll still be up here. All you need to do here is click on OK, and then I'll get rid of that. So now I'm just going to close this and go back to our site right here. And right there was our very last step in this tutorial. So if you guys have been following along, you should have a full website just like this one, or at least the base of it. Maybe you don't have all your content up yet, that's okay. You can do all that stuff over time. But you should have the kind of basic foundation of your website up already. I think it looks pretty good. And now I just wanted to take the time and say thank you for watching the video if you made it this far in it. I hope nothing was too confusing. That's always my goal when I make these videos, is to try to keep everything as simple as possible. So no matter what your skill level is when it comes to building websites, I just try to make it in a way that everyone can understand. And then remember too, when you're building your website, just take everything slow, do everything one step at a time. Doesn't all have to be done in a day. The best thing to do is just work at your pace. And if you need to go back in the video and pause it, or go back another day and reference certain parts, definitely do that. And also too, if you have any questions or comments or anything like that, you can leave them below this video in the comment section. And I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can. And also too, don't forget to check out all my other WordPress content on my YouTube channel. And I hope that you enjoy your new website, and until the next video, I will catch you guys then. See ya.